Hey, friends. What time did I say? 10 minutes. Seven minutes ago. We'll give everyone a few minutes to get here. It's a Jessa. It is a Jessa. The cool thing about this chronic illness shit is it feels like such a fucking accomplishment to be functioning. I have a bunch of thoughts, most of which are going to end up probably on an episode of the podcast tomorrow, but I'll share them with you guys in advance as always. An update on what I think the Patreon is going to be. Dun, dun, dun. So we'll beta test some of this in December, and then this will be official changes as of January. The $5 tier will be 2 bonus episodes, same format we've done. So it's 2 bonus episodes, either with guests or a little more of an energy update vibe. The new podcast, still not telling you the name till I get it registered, but is, not that you guys would steal it, but just superstitious. The new podcast will just be me. I really don't like remote podcasts, and I never want to put them on main. I don't know if you ever noticed that. And so I'm going to be in a lockdown for the next few months because I don't think my body could handle Corona if I got it. So I am hiding out. So there'll be no guests. Anyway, it's like, I can't remember what I said where, but the new one will be the way that like a new map or like those like channeled podcasts, because I really my brain only works if I'm like channeling. So, and they are going to be a little more, I know I've said this already, a little more organized, but it's going to be to where you will easily be able to say like, oh, here's one on interdependence, here's one on whatever. It's teaching, fuck it. You know what I mean? Kind of. The $7 tier, don't hold me to this because I still have a couple weeks to change my mind, will be the new $7 tier, will have a video version of the podcast. It won't be edited. And I will have a whiteboard, I think, and I will be giving visual aids, but you guys know from, especially you on the $20 tier, you know how horrendous my drawings are. So it's probably just going to be funny. It's going to have a lot of ums and stuff. I might do some weird background shit at some point, but for the most part, a lot of people are like, where do we want video episodes? I'm not interested in having the podcast even on YouTube, but so you guys will be getting that on the $10 tier. $10 tier, energy updates, just like we've been doing. This is my favorite, like this is the tier I feel like I've like dialed in. The way it's going to be is 2 bonus episodes to be released whenever. Video apps will be released the same day as the podcast. 4 energy updates a month. I'm trying to make it to where people don't feel like they're getting fucked, but like we're also leaving space for like, obviously, you know, I'm here when I'm not sick, but when I am sick, like whatever. Energy updates are pretty easy to do in that spot, but I found that the live streams, especially live streams on the $20 tier, when I have a guest, I've noticed there's something about if I have any brain fog, I melt the brain of the guest, which is interesting, a superpower I could do without. So these interactive live streams are going to have you guys be able to hop on screen. So it's going to be a finite amount of people can hop on screen and talk. Every week when I put out an episode, I will put out a post and people can ask questions. And then because of the way the new episode is, I'm going to have like notes. Cause I think part of what happens on the $20 tier is I show up and I don't remember what the last episode was about. So yeah, I'm going to my cups for 2020 is to move my career to online content creation while I focus on healing my body. And in that will be I will probably phase out. I don't think I'll ever completely phase out readings because I meet so many cool people. I get so many fucking downloads from it, but move it to where, you know, I've already like made it just a couple hours a day. So I'm pretty comfortable with that. Speaking of readings, for you, those of you that are looking for readings, have been waiting. My channel's open right now. So the aliens are talking, things are working again. I still have an extremely limited availability because I'm making sure I'm starting to get the vibe of how this works and like how much energy I can spend. And I also don't, like, if the channel's open and everything's working, I don't want to be committed to 3 weeks into December, channel closes. The channel closing seems to be a energy thing for me. So I don't want to overcommit. But if you were waiting for tarot, I brought tarot back. I got rid of tarot because I got a new superpower that was like a holographic screen and voices. And then as soon as I got rid of tarot, that went away. And then at one point, readings felt like overwhelming to me. And I was like, why do these feel horrible? Turns out it was just me. Anyway, that's not to like, for those of you that were asking. Also, and I'm going to say this on an episode, because I've made those hours super limited, it's like the same time every day that's really kind of in the middle of the day. It's when there's someone here to watch the kids. But if you've been trying to book and just waiting for hours that match your hours, you live in a different country, whatever, as long as we can find something where I would already be awake, you can send me an email and we can figure it out. So my hands are grossing me out. Dry. 1 second. Still limping, but I think what happened, because I think I got arthritis from the tick, but then I think I actually injured myself while that, and so I think that's just healing. All right. So energy update portion before we get into the reading part. So a few things. So we talked about the ceiling, right? So we talk about, yes, I did a text one about that. Okay. In my exploration of this autoimmune thing, things I've noticed, and I'm not a medical professional, so this is just my own experience, but things I've noticed is there seems to be a direct correlation between other people's energy in my energy field and my body not working. So other people can't put their energy in your energy field. That's something that you do through courting with them. And I'm basing that, I know that there's like whole belief systems around that. I'm just basing that on my own experience. So I will court to people when I decide that their expectations of me are more important than like what my own truth is. Okay. So imagine that our immune system is like our virus protection, and our body is becoming an integral part of this entire interactive experience, right? So the expectations of other people, the guilt, obligation, codependency, I just heard, things where we are betraying our own truth and prioritizing someone else's expectations, someone else's version of us, someone else's truth. I think that that gets stored in the body and the body attacks it. Okay. And I have found that I stopped consuming other people's perspectives and especially like other people's perception of me. And I don't know how I'm going to navigate social media moving forward, because I think it's like an important part, but I think I might like be on Instagram, post, but make it to where nobody can respond, which, you know, I always liked that because I never wanted it to seem like I was above, because I don't feel that way at all. But I see now that there is a I just do, like, I care. I care way less than I did a year ago, but I still am aware. At the minimum, I'm aware of what other people's perception of me is and what other people's perception of reality is, and that has an effect on us. But in a more micro, are we working jobs? I feel like a broken fucking record to get a new shtick, but you know, you guys, like, how many things are we doing because we want people to think we're good? How many things are we doing because we don't want people to be mad at us? How many things are we doing because we think that's what society wants from us, because of what we look like or because of our social station, whatever? I think that we're going to start to pay a very real price physically, and many of us already have. Many of you have been dealing with this for years, of not being like true. And I'm not saying that I'm not like, that's a very wide brush. So that's just something that I have noticed. My experience since coming out of this like extreme depression. And for those of you that didn't see the update, what I saw was like we were all like floating on the ceiling. I can't remember if I've already said this. We were all like floating on the ceiling. And the things I was thinking when I was in the bathtub for a month was like, who cares? Why does anyone listen to me? You know, like I've like kind of felt like I'd already done it. Like I've already done this perspective. How could I possibly say any of these things one more time? I don't even know if I give a shit. And then like everything I would be like, what if I did this? And it was like, I could see every perspective of it. And I was like, who gives a fuck? And so there was like, it was nihilism, but it was kind of coming from this place of like graduation. Now, when I look back, because that's what they said, they were like, you beat this level and we are trying to hit a critical mass to like make, like we're opening another level. I don't know if this like happens in video games, right? But a certain amount of us have to hit that at the same time. And so we're just waiting and we're about to hit that critical mass. So what they told me, this has been a week, I think. So 2 to 4 weeks, we will hit that critical mass and there will be mystery again, is what they said. So they weren't speaking to me for a fucking month. So that's nice of them to pipe up. Another thing that I've noticed, and this is wild, and I probably won't say this anywhere but Patreon, because I might not even say it straight out right now because I don't want to get this fucking video banned. But so what I said, or what I saw, was that something was going to hit the planet between January and March. If you guys have heard me talk about 7D at all, something was going to hit the planet between January and March that was going to make it to where if you weren't in sync with the earth, you weren't going to be able to function. Okay. You weren't going to like, and that was going to shift the power dynamic, which is already shifting. That's another thing they said about the ceiling, is that the shift is happening. Obviously there's several shifts, but like this transition is already underway. It doesn't matter what they're trying to do. That old unconscious white masculine age is the equivalent of what Trump's trying to do right now to stay in power. It's like, ignore it doesn't matter. It's theater. It does not fucking matter. We are already shifting. And then, but another reason that I knew that we were going to be fine was because something happens that changes it to where if you're not operating from a place of being in sync with the earth and like allowing the re-indigenization of the earth, the people, the energies, I guess, that are the children of the earth. I don't know how to word this. I can just see pictures of it. Is like that the power will shift, and that old unconscious masculine fear-based thing just won't work because you have to be like dialed into this new network. And so somewhere between January and March, it felt like it was going to be that whole section, right? And I was like, I don't know what that's going to be. Is that going to be the solar flares? I never guessed the right thing, right? So I know there are a lot of people freaking out about, and I'm not going to get into this too much, but there are a lot of people freaking out about what's coming, right? And I just realized yesterday, oh, that's probably coming between January and March. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm not going to say the word because this thing will get banned. But, and I'm not anti that. So I'm not stating an opinion on that. But if you are feeling freaked out about medically what's coming, a positive piece of that, if that's something you're afraid of, is like unintended consequences work both ways. So even if there was a nefarious plot to put a microchip in everyone or whatever, I'm not saying I believe in that. It's going to get turned around no matter what. So I thought it was interesting that this could be the thing, because this has been my experience in the last couple of weeks, learning to operate my body again, or however long I've been out of bed. What it feels like is I used to have an unlimited amount of masculine energy, and I used to just be able to just spend this energy just as much as I want. And like I could commit to a million things because I had the energy to do it. And now I feel like every morning I get 1 cup of masculine energy. And I have to figure out how to get through the day without accidentally spending the entire cup of masculine energy. However, I have a full, like unlimited supply of this what I'm calling feminine energy. These are not gender, sex at all. So masculine, I feel like, is created within me, and it's pushing physical energy. It's kind of sometimes manic and totally spastic. This feminine energy, which would be a receptive energy, a creative energy, does feel like it's coming up. I didn't want to start the chip conversation. Guys, you're trying to get me fucking banned from YouTube. The feminine energy feels like it's a receptive energy. So it's like streaming. And when I am channeling, my brain works fine. And when I'm trying to access the hard drive or the old memory, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. But, or if I try to use it, I'll use up the cup early in the day. So I'm going to hide this for a second because it's making my ADD bad. So what I realized is that the thing I said was coming in January is the thing that I'm experiencing, which is I don't know how to work this yet. I'm like, every day I get a little bit better. So I'm like, okay, if I start my day with like juice, like fresh juice and a meal, and I don't get on social media, and I don't drink too much coffee, and I stand out on the barefoot on the earth, okay, then I can keep the energy to here. But if I talk this much, the energy goes. And if I do this, like, I'm learning almost to sync up with a new network, which is I couldn't put my finger on it, but this was exactly the thing I was talking about. And wouldn't it be interesting if that's what people getting this illness are having? Like that is that DNA restructuring. And so they are like, a lot of people are, they call it like long COVID. The symptoms they describe are fucking, they're the same symptoms as Lyme disease. It's like the brain fog, the heart palpitations, the weird shooting pains in the head, the fucking, maybe it's not the shooting pains in the head. It's lethargy, body aches, you know, it's a lot of the same thing. So it just would be interesting if all of these things that seem like they are either happenstance or have a potential, I know a lot of people, there's a potential nefarious thing. It would be really interesting if that nefarious thing got turned around and used for the DNA upgrade, which I already know is the plan. So if you're feeling freaked out about anything that's to come, don't. Like, whatever it is getting hijacked by the Galactic Fed. So you don't have to give a ton of power to the scary outcomes. Yeah. Mark had it in January, and he like came out a different person. Yeah. I've seen a lot of people when they describe it, I'm like, oh, this is the same thing that I have. So wouldn't that be interesting if that's the energy coming to the planet? You know, I saw it as a fucking as a glitter last time. But okay, so how I would describe the new avatar I'm dealing with right now is at one point I had a Windows netbook. I edited all of the Mormon and the Meth Heads I ever edited and most of Soberish until last year on a $300 netbook using Audacity, which is like a free program, and it's I loved it, but it's maybe shitty. Like people were like, you what? I was so fast on Audacity. I edited the fuck out of podcasts so fast on Audacity. Then I finally was like, hey, I make content for a living. Maybe I should get an actual laptop. So I bought an Apple laptop. Audacity really sucked on that, but I still was using it. And then I moved here, and then Mark gave me, what is this, Logic, right? Which I think is some fancy professional thing. As soon as I got the fancy professional thing, it was extremely slow for me. The Logic, very fast, but I was very slow on it because I didn't know how to do it. And it took me a long time, but now I'm very fast on Logic. All that to say, wow, what a long, fucking unnecessarily long metaphor. All that to say, that's what this new avatar feels like. It feels like someone I was crushing as hard as you can crush on my netbook, and then I got taken out of my office and like locked in a closet for a month, and then they let me out of the closet, and now I have all fancy top of the line Apple stuff, and I don't know how to use any of it. That's what my energy levels feel like. That's what my communication center feels like. That's what my magic feels like. That's what everything feels like. We definitely are coming out of a massive fucking upgrade, but it's pretty clunky right now, for me at least. I mean, I'm starting to get in a groove, but it's funny that I'm literally learning how to walk again because I feel like I'm learning how to walk again. All right, I'm going to take a breath and see some shit that y'all said. There's something to do with water, and we store information there, but it could be my sun and moon in Pisces. I used to have like a weird thing until pretty recent, until I started to feel my feelings. I would force myself to read every YouTube comment, and if it hurt my feelings, I would get mad at myself. I would just like force myself to I was like cutting. And then I figured out I'm sensitive and that I don't have to do that. Yeah, I won't hate it, to be honest. I'm not coming back to Facebook. I'm not going to be involved in like future. I'll hang out on Patreon and that's it. And maybe that's ridiculous, but like that's about how much I have storage for. I don't think I'll put Twitter back on I don't know. Who knows? I talk like I'm do anything for more than a month at a time. Yeah. This is about the ceiling. It really is. It really is. If you guys haven't looked up the 55th gene key, get into it, man. It really is happening. So we have 7 years till we're like in that euphoria, but we really saw like, I don't know, it'll be a lot of like crazy changes, but we haven't seen all of the death by a long shot, but like I feel like the gods, you know, the gods that were awake for 2020 have seen the worst of it. And I'm maybe too optimistic. What spoon theory? Miriam, we should talk since our stuff synced up. It really is, how do I say it? I mean, I bet when I finally try meditating and breath work, it's going to be a game changer, but I don't do any of that stuff. And it really, weirdly in September, when I pictured what I needed, I was like, I need to get to the house. I need to spend a lot of time alone. I need to breathe. I need to meditate. I need to take steam showers. And I need to like reacclimate. And then I got here, got hit by a bus. I was like, I'm going to be cooking healthy, fresh food. And then I got here, got hit by a bus. We were back on the gluten-free chicken nugs. And I was like, I'll get it together. I'll get it together. And so I've had like 4 days now where it's like juice and smoothies and rice bowls and fresh food. And okay, so we got that incorporated. And then in the next couple of days, I would like to incorporate, you know, some meditation and some breath work. I'm learning how to sit outside. That's amazing. So I do think it is like, I don't know what all you fucking hippies have been doing the whole time, maybe. See, it's a circle. It's not a race. It's a circle. It's whatever. Does having mystery again mean an end to this nihilism? Yes. Yes. It's almost like we're too awake is what I want to call it. Like too conscious, too aware of how this whole thing works. I don't know how they add another level of mystery, but it just stops feeling like, ugh. So it's essentially we beat this level, we beat this dimension, whatever, and we are ready for the new one, which makes sense. So let's say we unpacked all of the things that 5D and 6D have to offer. Not that we don't continue to work on that, but like we did the work to unlock 7D probably. And then so that's what they're talking about. So 7D comes in with the eclipses, which I have been saying January, but I think those eclipses are in December. So that makes perfect sense. Wow. I just now put that together. So yeah, 7D gets here whenever those fucking eclipses are. And that lines up with absolutely everything. So yeah, we just canceled family Christmas. My sister and everyone at work got it. And I was like, yeah, I don't think my body could do it right now. Yeah, I mean, I really feel like I feel like people who've been suffering with with autoimmune diseases, we're going to figure that out. People have been suffering. I mean, I think our bodies are going to become healed and immortal and crystalline, whatever. I mean, that's coming. So the 7D was about the body, the earth, and the connection to it. It's a very internal, this work is going to be very internal. All right, you guys love Some of you like Audacity. Oh, wow. Interesting. So what if everybody with autoimmune disease has just got a DNA upgrade and they don't know how? Classic Jessa, though, to take my experience and be like, I invented it. I have been taking a lot of salt baths, putting some essential oil in. I will have to look into that. Yes, don't compare your experience. Also, I usually get things like a month or two before everyone else so that I have notes. Oh, sorry. I feel like I say closet about woo all the time, but I was talking about a literal closet. Okay. Oh, interesting. That's exactly what I thought when they said spoon theory. I was like, well, now I'm going to feel weird using that metaphor to explain this, but I do think that a lot of people are going to start having this experience because the power dynamic is shifting, so that masculine energy is going to get powered down, and so that feminine energy, everyone learns how to use their feminine energy. So this really feels the spoon theory that you, those of you suffering from autoimmune diseases, 111 people in the chat, those of you suffering from autoimmune diseases are about to be ahead of the curve because I think this is really what's going to start to happen next year. That's exactly what it looked like to me, was like the old way of exerting power doesn't work, because that's what it was. Everyone who's not aligned with the will of the earth will not have access to their power. And that's why it's so important that people step into their power. God step into their power, people, indigenous people step into their power, because that old, it doesn't matter what they're doing, they're getting powered down. So, that sounds sick. Yeah, I love that. Yes. Tiara said something interesting to me. She was like, do you think it's interesting that the year that you started to actually like come out of the sky into your body, you started aging and getting sick? And I was like, you think I'm aging? Just kidding. I know I'm aging. Yeah, man, I haven't gotten to the place where meat feels wrong. It was brought to my attention by somebody in this community that the use of socialism is triggering someone who's not from America, I think, to people who have been in actual socialist countries, which I don't know that much about, like actual civics, but communal, like Aquarian values, which are very independent and very kind of autonomous, but also like Aquarian values would just be like, if we want to be fucking capitalist, can we just pay, like make sure that people's needs are met, and then you can be as capitalist as you want. And I think socialism's more of like the government run shit and takes things from people. Where I feel like Aquarian energy is like, yeah, I did chase whatever fucking money you want. Make sure that people have a roof and food. That's how I feel. That's like, you have to get rid of capitalism, do whatever billionaire circle jerk shit you like, but like, can people have their basic needs met? And then if they want to chase that bullshit, they can. And if they want to just make art, they're fucking not homeless. So I don't know if there's a name for that, and that's a little bit wordy for a title of a society, but that's essentially what it'll be. I still think we're gonna get rid of the like big country and break up into smaller things. Which once again, a very positive thing that can look like there's a nefarious plan, but we have to learn how to go with what resonates and kind of like let, just fucking stop telling me what to do. You want to be a Christian? Go be a fucking Christian over there. Stop trying to legislate our bodies and shit. Make us pray to your God. Just go be fucking Christian in Texas. Yeah, I like that. Interesting. Yeah, I don't think that there's one thing. I'm open to all of it. Yeah, they don't feel permanent to me. Yeah, it was I'm not on the internet, I'm not on social media, as I've mentioned 20 times in this already, but my phone, I read a lot of articles now, and I got a notification about that, and then I sent it to Aaron from Mormon and the Meth Head because he lives in Utah, and he was like, I was curious what Utah news you got. Of course, it's this thing. All right, blah, blah, blah. Okay, that's interesting. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. That's exactly what's going to happen. So, I'm really hesitant to talk about conspiracy stuff on anywhere because I feel like it gets taken out of context. But especially on this platform because I feel like the algorithm's listening for certain keywords. But Mark heard some guy who made like a Bill Gates documentary, and so we watched the documentary, and I was like, people are probably freaked the fuck out. And then we were talking about like who are the alien overlords, right? Because you have like a lot of the people that are presented as nefarious characters they still feel like puppets to me. Most of them are narcissists, and narcissists, as much as they wreak havoc on your personal life, they just want accolades. You know what I mean? Like, Trump doesn't have some big nefarious, man, it's been nice not talking about this fucking dude for the last month. He doesn't have some big nefarious plan. He just wants to be patted on the back. Like, he just wants to be told he's good. Like, that's it. Like, that's all like narcissists are, like stone cold narcissists. And a lot of people that were like, oh, they have a nefarious whatever. When you tap into their energy, it's like, this person's just a fucking avatar that wants to be congratulated. And I get big narc vibes off of Bill Gates. I'm probably going to regret starting this conversation. And so a lot of times we're like, oh my God, it's trying to start a one planet thing. And it's like, a lot of these people just want power just so that they can fucking feel comfortable in their own skin. And it's not really that nefarious, but narcissists make great puppets. If you're smart, you can figure out how to steer them around. A lot of times they have money and they're hot and they have resources and everything else because they've gathered these things so that people will fucking feed their ego. And if you were really like nefarious, you could use these super rich narcissist to your benefit by just feeding them like, oh my God, you would get so many accolades if you did this, if you solved this world health crisis, whatever. And then we were like, who are the people we don't see? You know what I mean? Because that's who it is. If there's a fucking reptilian overlords, we don't see them. And then we were laughing at how funny it would be if it's just the Galactic Federation. So it's just the Galactic Federation has everyone convinced that they're going to get world domination by putting a chip. This is completely hypothetical. I'm kidding, of course. Just has all these shit bags doing shit bag. They're going to do shit bag stuff no matter what. But like the Galactic Federation is just puppeteering them to like actually just activate DNA. That would be funny and a plot twist that would not surprise me. The monolith in Utah is the thing. Okay. Did you guys hear about the minks? I don't know if this is a bummer. They had to kill a bunch of minks because of COVID, and then the minks all rose from their shallow grave. Still dead, but they came up out of the ground. There's another weird fucking thing. Okay. Well, we got a lot. We got a lot of messages. Ugh. Yeah, a lot of ancestral stuff people are working through. I can't believe there's still parades either. Utah has big, I don't know, there is some weird, the Venn diagram from like awakening, ascension, and Mormonism is interesting. Yes, I agree. We've been given narcissists right now because they are distracted by themselves, which allows us to have more people wake up while they think about how pretty they are. Oh, interesting. Yeah, there's the less insane version of the mink story. What does Neptune going direct? Is that why things are going to seem dreamy? Sorry, I just said zombie minks and then left that there. Ugh. Okay, so in that documentary, that Rothschild guy, no, wait, Rockefeller is hideous. Like, I'm not judging someone's looks. Like, he's what creature? He's a nightmare looking person. This sounds horrible. This sounds very, he could not be more obviously a shitbag. I don't know. Never mind. This is like evil. Like, ugh. And I don't know anything about Rothschild, Rockefellers, whatever. It's all runs together for me, but all right. Dun, dun, dun. All right. So let's do the reading. This fucking ADD theater here. These other things I'll get into on the podcast. What are we doing this about? Pick a group, 1, 2, or 3. Yeah, that was the thing. The ones who, how do I say this? The reptiles that drink blood have very sharp faces. That's only way I can think of to say it. There's something sharp that happens to their face. Like they can't hide that they're not human. By the time they get old, they don't get old in a normal way. Their face gets sharp. I don't know. I wish I could share my screen. Just Google. Someone's gonna get mad at me. I'm making fun of this guy. Google Rockefeller. How do I make it? Damn it. I don't know how to describe it. I don't mean he's ugly. I mean, he ain't hot. There's something fucking skeevy about his sharp face. This is actually a nice picture of him. There's some fucking fucked up pictures of him. All the pictures they used in that documentary made my fucking skin crawl. Anyway. God, can I make fun of something? You know what I mean? I'm making fun of billionaires. That's it. I roast billionaires. All right. It just doesn't age. Like old people's faces hang, you know? See this happening here? And theirs gets sharp. I don't know. Whatever you want to call that. Pick a pile, 1, 2, or 3. It looks like dead people. What it reminds me of is in the movie Pet Sematary, the original one, there was like a sister or something that kept, like they tell a story about and kept her hiding in a room or something, and her face was terrifying. That I remember. That's it. Yeah, Mitch McConnell has that whole like ball sack thing going on. Yeah, someone said that. That like neck labia. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, if you're drinking blood, why don't you look better? You know what I mean? If you have found the fountain of youth, why aren't you not a corpse? Okay, well, that's interesting. All right, I am going to take this as a sign, even though I think this was from earlier. So this was in this pile. This pile is where I get the subjects often, and this is not that kind of card. So this reading is going to be defend to the end the worthwhile. So that's going to be a different thing for each of you. Okay, so we're going to talk about what you are nurturing and nourishing and protecting and hiding within yourself. Okay. That's a good point. Yeah, like they're not meant to be in the dimension with space or time, I mean. All Bum, ba, bum. Sorry, we're doing 25 fucking decks apparently. All right, pick a pile. 1, 2, 3. This is what you are defending. Does that make sense? So like right now I am prioritizing like creating a safe space for myself and defending this new birth, kind of. This new avatar. Do you want to give me one of these? Just that one. Okay. Keep that for a clarifier, and then advice cards, and then we're done. Oh no, 12 people left the chat. I bet it was neck labia. I have to start making fun of things again, guys. I have to be a comedian. I don't know. I'm pretty good at not punching down, but I cannot hang with the with the seriousness of spirituality. I mean, like, I can't even make fun of myself. Like, I'm trying to do, I just, like, which is mostly what I make fun of. It's like, I like getting my balls busted. You know what I mean? My face sack. By the way, that person reached out to me. We're going to have a talk. Sorry if I offended anyone by saying I didn't see any bullying in that thread. I never watched that. This is my goal for the new podcast, is just to fucking have it be funny. We had a very serious year, I think. I think this was the worst year of my life. There were some positive things, but there's a good chance this was the worst year of my life. I've spent 6 of the last 7 months incapacitated, drowning in drama and fucking all kinds of shit. All right, ready? Right? I'll be offended when mine comes in. All right. Pile 1, 2, or 3, what you are defending to the end. Oh, speaking of too serious, pile number 1. Damn. Good things are trying to happen for you. Have some fucking fun, for the love of shit. Oh, man. God, that's funny we were talking about this. The sensation of like I fall into this energy a lot where I'm always in some sort of always, I'm telling you, a nightmare person. Always in some sort of, okay, well, once I get there, I'll do this. Not like I'll be happy once I get there, but like, give me some, can I have some fucking words, please? Pile number one. You time is what I want to say with this. Like, take time for yourself. Take time for yourself. What you're taking too seriously is this like you're running enlightenment through your, like you're running the new thing through the old rules. Does that make sense? Like you already did it. You're awake. You know what I mean? You're the new world. You're here. You did it. You got it. Okay. I think it's interesting that we've got the 8 and the 9 here. Not going to tell you why it's interesting. It's just interesting. Overall, just play. Have some fucking fun. Okay. Lighten the fuck up. It's good. It's good. When spirituality or seeking or compassion, Miriam, when empathy become a burden, become an anvil that you're hugging at the bottom of the ocean, let it go. We are no good to anybody when our empathy is killing us, okay? Have some fun. Take a break. What you want wants you, okay? Go dedicate some time to yourself. You can save the world later. You can save the world later. I acknowledge my fear, but I replace it with the insight of awareness. Where what I'm getting from this is like, this is, I saw this coming a little bit with the Arsenal energy. I definitely got had by this. Arsenal energy is interesting. And by the way, every frustrated fit you throw isn't Arsenal, okay? Arsenal's there to burn down old systems. And sometimes that's screaming in a protest. Sometimes that comes from creating a new system. Sometimes that comes from, climbing the corporate ladder and then slowly dismantling their shitty fucking like system. Sometimes that comes from here's some Arsenal stuff, by the way, I wanted to share with you guys real quick. Hopefully I don't derail myself too much. Some things I've found recently for those of you who don't have medical insurance, because I think that medical insurance is a scam. That's my personal belief. I just got completely distracted. Sorry. Call on Docs, I think is the name of it. I found a place where you can get a bunch of your prescriptions and you just type in some shit. I think it's 60 or 70 bucks and you can get, rather than even having to go to urgent care. I found another website called Uber Docs, where if you don't have medical insurance, I'm not telling you to get rid of your medical insurance, but for those of you that don't have it, Uber Docs, you can go, I wanted to see like a knee specialist or whatever, but usually you have to have a regular doctor to give you a thing and they go straight to it. Yeah, Julie just said Uber Docs. And then I found another one where you can order your own blood work. For things like this, where I want to see if I like need to get tested for RA because my mom had RA and I want to make sure that I'm not, I'm obviously going a more natural route, but I want to rule out RA. So, and that is, I think that's like you just pay for the, whatever the test is. So it's like 95 bucks, 150 bucks. All right. So have fun. Number one. All right. Number 2. Please don't chew the cords to the podcast equipment. Thank you. Sorry, I got very distracted. I never should have looked at my phone. Two, your energy is kind of needing isolation. Two, you're being very reactive to your external environment. What is this soul family thing about? Ooh. I don't think this is for all of you. Look at this, fucking 8-9 again. For some of you, you're moving on or have recently moved on from someone in your soul family. So for some of you, this is your actual family. Oh man, I did a reading earlier for someone today that had this energy. It's like someone you have gone through, how do I describe this? You've gone through like past lives with, and now the split is making it to where you're not, you're not going to be traveling through lifetimes with them anymore. I don't know. I'm really trying to get away from anything that encourages like I'm above this person or whatever, because it really is just like diverging paths all in the same direction, you know? But people moving on from soul family, but this was like specifically like family, right? Just kind of reaching this point where maybe toxic parents, or this could be the people moving out of relationships. This energy is a little like, now you have to face the thing you're most afraid of. Okay. Or you're getting, maybe you're, setting boundaries and then getting, what do you call it? Like setting boundaries and then getting rejected or getting persecuted or whatever. And so that is, that is what this feels like. Okay. So withdrawal, go back into your own energy, this kind of thing that we were talking about earlier. And take responsibility for your own well-being. In this is like, really defining what is theirs and what is yours. What's funny is I'm extremely distracted by something right now that all of this advice lines up with, which is funny. This is big time out energy, if I'm being honest. There's some darkness here. And it's really kind of like, maybe those of you in group number 2 haven't spent that time in the closet or aren't ready to come out of that closet. By closet, I'm referring to the last metaphor that I used before going to the ceiling. This is like a recalibration. The cat's back. I think that's it for group 2. I might come back to some more stuff for group 2. This doesn't feel present moment, if I'm honest. This feels like this is coming maybe with this full moon. Examples of this would be like, I finally stood up to my mother and now I'm kicked out of Christmas. I finally told my partner I wanted to leave and now everyone's mad at me. You know, I finally came out and as woo and now people think I'm crazy. It's like, it's you did the thing and your first experience with the new avatar is being rejected and you're like this, okay? So just withdraw into your own energy, stay in your own energy, okay? All right, group 3. Wow. Group 3, why is there so many less cards in this one? Oh, because this didn't have this. Group 3 is, wow. I resonate a little bit with all 3 of these. So group 3, manifestation, okay? So that energy that we talked about, that I think I talked about in the last podcast, like move forward into, pick a timeline, you know what I mean? Pick something that you feel excited about and start to move forward into that. I feel like I want to say possibly because I got thrown off a second ago, that these numbers might not line up. So just pick whatever batch feels like it's for you, or maybe a little bit of all of them are for you. But I definitely got knocked off my square a second ago. So the energy feels like I tossed the cards up in the air. So take that as you may. Okay, so I don't know if I've talked about this publicly yet, but I want to start splitting up manifestation from masculine manifestation to feminine manifestation. And by that, I mean receptive, creator, and whatever the opposite of receptive is, constructor, okay? So a lot of us are blocked in our feminine, receptive manifestation energy. So like, when we go, we set an intention and wait for it to, oh, I did talk about this because I referenced Noah, and wait for it to come to us, okay? So a lot of us are working on healing that channel because we are learning how to do everything from the kind of feminine side. So that's what this group is really about. Empathy and compassion, I want to say for yourself, for yourself. This has a little bit of that. The corruption of the arsenal energy is an addiction to being upset. Part of your job as arsenal is to be upset. That's what the thing I was on. Part of your job as arsenal is to get outraged at garbage systems, whatever. Anytime though, you're drinking from the well of outrage, or this happens in relationships. It's really dangerous in personal relationships when you've gone through a rough spot. Not dangerous, but you have to stay like, if you're in a relationship, one of you betrays the trust, and then you want to try to like bring that back into stasis, and you go, and you've been like upset, like you've had to deal with, I kind of want to talk about a personal experience I've had with this. So at one point in a long-term relationship of mine, my partner kind of cheated. I mean, it was an open thing, but like not that those weren't the rules of the open thing, whatever. And when it came out, we had to work through that. And so everything was sharp and was like, not sharp like a Rockefeller face, but just like tender. And I got a lot of attention during that phase, and I got to be mad and I got to cry and everything, and that was healthy for us to process that. But we eventually hit a point that I got addicted to being the victim in that situation. And so then I started to, at the point where we had kind of healed that trespass, but I kind of got addicted to being outraged. And it's also something that happens when you get to that point in a relationship where you're like, aha, you did something wrong. You know, there's so much of that energy right now. And we do need to be fighting against injustice and oppression and everything else. But like, we have to take time to like take care of ourselves and like clear that energy out sometimes, because it just gets, I got like toxic with it. The addiction to outrage, the addiction to being fucking mad about stuff. And it was like, if I was shitting on, I was started projecting on everyone around me and stuff. And so you have to like pull out, because now you're not Arsenal, you're just drama. There's a difference. Arsenal is effective at destroying systems, but when you get addicted to the drama, you're just drama. You know what I mean? You're not doing anything. Your voice doesn't fucking matter because it never shuts up with that shit. So that's like, that was like something that also happened last month, where at one point it was like every fucking day I was like, a new thing outside of myself was fucking with me, blah blah blah, or not outright that, and it's like I'm not helping nobody's listening anymore because I haven't shut the fuck up, and I am not in a place of like peace or balance. So I'm not like effective as Arsenal as I am when I'm like I'm like, my cup is full and I'm coming with this, like, this system has to go, and like that, like, righteous thing of the new world. Anyway, group 3, you're addicted to some drama. Okay. And some of you are, and I don't just mean that, like, it's a thing that happens. We have to play this game in the 3D, then we get addicted to it. Okay. Yeah, sometimes Arsenal's fucking aggressive, but like that, how did I describe it in June, going to protests and stuff? I felt like I had like poison running through my veins, and that's channeling that energy, and it's fine, but you have to clean it out a little bit. But what do I want to say with this? This is more of that energy, I think, in group 1 of like, some of that compassion and empathy has to exist for yourself as well. So some people's Arsenal energy is like turning on you, making you hate yourself. I've dealt with a little bit of that in the last few months. So, yeah, I think that's it. I feel like I've been talking for 3 fucking hours. My cup is empty. Yeah, I have 2 speeds. I'm either not taking things personal, or I'm taking fucking everything personal, because it's addicting. It's fun. There is some fun in it. So, all right. Thank you guys. Did I miss anything? All right. Have a good night.